Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Buzz channel, Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today we are going to do a film session looking at Justin Fields, new quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Y'all want to see some Justin Fields? Okay, I think y'all want to see some Justin Fields. So, it's not, I don't have any all 22. I got a little bit of a hookup this year with some all-22 film. Unfortunately, Ohio State was not one of them, but you know what? That's okay. So we have to use the good old traditional YouTube videos that I usually use, but I'm okay with that. I just, it's not going to be the same like the typical film sessions with the NFL Game Pass and all that. So, we'll do the best we can. It's not super easy to rewind and do all that, but we'll go through it. I'll tell you what I see. This is my first time watching this back on film, so I'll just be telling you what I think going along with it. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get it started. We're going to be watching the championship game, Big Ten. I should clarify the Big Ten championship game versus Northwestern. And I thought that was a good one because Northwestern is having players get drafted right now in these first 3 rounds. And we heard, about them being the number 1 defense and all that. All right, so this first play, I did see this first play. But one thing I like, obviously the ball's a little thrown a little bit behind the receiver, but that's more of a drop. The one thing I like is that he was in the pocket pretty calm. He wasn't really panicking in the pocket. We see that again with the second throw. His feet aren't super active, but you could tell that he's not panicking. He's not, jittery. He's okay sitting in the pocket and still looking for a throw. Now, again, without the all-22 angle, it's harder to see exactly what everything is happening downfield. But again, we're just watching the quarterback, watching his movement from his feet, from his eyes, his head, seeing where the progression is going, and then finally the mechanics. What's the delivery of the throw? And again, I think those few plays we saw so far, you just see a guy that looks comfortable in the pocket. All right, he takes a step with the hitch, puts it downfield. Not super far off. And I said this last year when I was talking about Tua and everything, and I say this every year. When you're talking about deep throws, I always talk about look how they miss. Like, anybody could say, oh, that was incomplete, and they all incomplete. No, each incompletion is different. Are they missing, 5 yards down the field too far? Are they missing 5 yards too short? Are they missing wide right to the sideline? Are they close? And that one pass deep, you saw that it was pretty close, and we seen him with some great touch on the deep balls. Now, one thing I see, with his throwing motion, he does have a hitch in the giddy up, as they say. He's got a bit of a wind up, extra motion on his throw. Now, obviously, I think the velocity which he throws with, he's able to get the ball, with good trajectory. But you can see, even in that play just right now, it's going to get him caught up with some pass rushers because the way he's popping his elbow up, and again, it's throwing the timing off. He's going to get caught up because that delivery, that stroke isn't naturally smooth. So we get the read option here. I have no idea why the tight end didn't go out to the corner. You had 2 tight ends on the same one. But you can see he's a dynamic runner, not just someone super fast, not just somebody that's, going to bumble down the field. He's got a little bit of speed. He's also got a little bit of power. So in the red zone here, expecting some type of run again. Yep. So quarterback run. That was a huge hold by 76. But quarterback run here. You see speed to the edge. A lot of things that people were excited about with Jalen Hurts in college, and you see some of that dynamic ability as well. I don't know if they called the hold or not, but either way, you saw that was a crazy hold. But again, just looking at his ability to run is what we're mostly looking at. So the boot, throwing a run, that's an easy throw. You don't get a lot out of that play. All right, so 3rd and goal, money down in the red zone. Pretty much in the white zone. Against the blitz. Tough, but still goes down. And that's, depending on the play, there's not much you can do sometimes. But in general, you like to see against the blitz how they react. Obviously, he tried to escape there. Now, you don't know the quick outlets that he had on there, but tried to escape. If this was the other platform, I'll probably rewind that a couple times to see his options, but YouTube is finicky. I wish it had at least a 10-second rewind, but it doesn't. The last play, you saw the strength, the ability to get the ball off even with contact. I think that throw was pretty good. It's hard to see, but you had some concentration drops I've seen so far, but I haven't seen like sporadic accuracy. So again, escaping the pocket. I mean, that's and he still gets the ball off. Now that's a dangerous throw, but did he intercept that? Yeah, you got to be a little careful with that. But just you see the ability to elude the defenders. Just really tough, ability to stay up in the pocket. I'm trying to remember what I always call that. There's a number. There's pocket manipulation. There's pocket awareness. I forgot what I call it, but just in general, you look at a quarterback's ability to stay upright. Like, do they go straight down or can they continue to make plays? And one thing I like is that when the pocket breaks down, he doesn't necessarily look to just get out of the backfield. He keeps his eyes downfield as well. That was bad accuracy on that last pass. He saw where he wanted to go on this one. Had first option was gone. Had to change it up. And I can't make it slow and fast at a drop of a dime. But YouTube is not made for watching film, so I can't really blame them. But we will switch it to 75%. So it can move a little quicker. Alright, so this next play. Now, the one thing, I like that back shoulder. That's a good placement. Now, one thing I'll say about college quarterbacks in general from big programs, but Ohio State especially, said this about Haskins and other as well. They are used to having a lot of time. Now, Ohio State didn't have like 5, first-round picks or nothing this year. But still, they typically have really top-tier prospects, and the quarterback usually has a lot more time than you'll get in the NFL. Now, at the time of this recording, we drafted a tackle, which I got high hopes for, but still we don't have, a world-beater offensive line. So that's something he's going to have to learn. But again, even in a play like that where they end up taking him down, I think he's built not to do it right away, but he's got the makeup where he will be able to be in the pocket and make plays. Escapability. That's what I was thinking of. You see him get some yards with his legs. And again, I don't hope to see him run all the time. I would like some quarterback design stuff, but I don't want to see him scrambling all the time. Young quarterbacks end up doing that because it's the easiest thing to get some quick success, but they fall in love with it, and that's not what we want to see. But again, the type of game you see him play, I think he understands being in the pocket. Another drop. They've been dropping his passes, but a check down by Justin. And again, that you look at the stroke, it worries me a little bit. I wonder how much they'll work with him to try and get that corrected a little bit, because his throwing motion is not exactly pretty. And I think even with the amount of velocity that he has, I think he could have more. And he's not an arm thrower. I think his feet are somewhat tied just from what I'm watching. It's not like his lower body mechanics are purely bad. It's just his arm slot is just, I don't like that. I don't like that. See the running back running to the ref. Step up in the pocket. Now that guy's covered. I don't know why you throw that. That's a bad decision. There was no step. There was nothing, unless you're just trying to get a flag. And they'll give you some of that in the NFL, but you got to be careful, especially because if you miss inside, that's an interception. It's a little naked. That's supposed to be a throwback. That was blown up from the beginning. So, again, decision making. You might want to eat that one. Nice rhythm throw outside there. Slightly behind, but nice rhythm throw. Yeah, and see the thing, and you see it. I don't know why I see it with Ohio State so vividly, but these quarterbacks, even Justin, who I think is a little more comfortable in the pocket, they sit at the top of their drop. Like, he doesn't step up in the pocket a whole lot, and a lot of times they don't have to. And again, that just creates the situation where you get to the league and everything's sped up so quick. You gotta start working on getting to the top of your drop. If it's not there, getting your feet moving. Start to understand where that pocket is. We saw that interception there. That was a 50-50 ball. That was not good. That was not a good throw. Now, I wanted to watch, I swear I can't remember who it is. They played in that first round. I think it was Bama maybe. But I wanted to watch that game, but there was no real good copy of that. Now, obviously, that's one where he lit a lot of, people's eyes up. But outside of that, we've seen against Clemson and other teams this type of game where there's some good, but there's some bad. I like the ball placement on that one. Top of the drop. Good feet. That must have got blocked. I'm assuming that was tipped. Little RPO. And that is going to be interesting. I think that's one thing they really going to want to do is that triple option RPO where he could give it, take it, or throw it. Check down there. And I think that's what, now, again, Northwestern's a disciplined team, but I think that's what really got people's eyes, again, lit up in the playoffs is because you see here he's going short a lot. And it's not that he doesn't go deep, but in that playoffs, he was really taking deep shots with really good touch and accuracy. And that was not something that people seen a whole lot of this season in particular. And again, you see he's tough, willing to go after it, willing to go get it. I forgot how big he is. I mean, he's not Cam Newton, but he's big enough. He's not scared. And I think that intangible, well, Ryan Pace did mention that, but I think for fans and for scouts, I think that's one of the things that really attracted everybody to Fields as a prospect. Play action here. Again, escapability. At least to keep the play alive, give them a chance. A couple steps, not really a drop there. And that's gonna be tough. I think he's fine throwing that, but he's gonna have to drive that ball a little better in the NFL. Because that, as we saw with Tom Brady, that could be a pick six. Another read play. Make some yards out of it. Getting towards the end of this game. I'm not sure where that was supposed to go. Well, all right, that's it. So there you have it. I mean, again, I think it's availability as far as which games I could pick, but also it's important to watch good comp. And, you know, like I said, Northwestern had a lot of good players for a reason, but that was interesting. That was interesting. I really wish I could get more all 22 and really like look in depth and like really break it down for you. I'm probably watching another game. You know, the Big Ten wasn't as competitive this year, so you know, it's whatever. But I'll probably watch another game at some point. But just watching that, my thoughts. A lot of things that are typical of college quarterbacks, but a couple things that I'm interested in as far as advantages. And again, I think one of it is you see how comfortable he is in the pocket. There's some quarterbacks in the NFL still that as soon as they get the snap, you can tell they're looking to run. They're ready if they're gonna run. Now, obviously, you got teams with better offensive lines than others, and that kind of builds it up where people become they get to a point where they're seeing ghosts and they become antsy. So that does play into it, but some quarterbacks just aren't comfortable in the pocket and they're not comfortable throwing with trash around them. Andy Dalton being one of them. And so you see, at least with Fields, he doesn't have that. Now, I don't think he's manipulating the pocket great. I don't think he really had to. But you can tell that he's not panicked in the pocket when it breaks down or when he has to stay in and make a throw. If he's moved off his spot, he can extend the play and do some things, but he's not looking to right away. And I think that's the key, especially with college quarterbacks these days. They're all looking to move right away and try to extend the play and not understanding that you have to be in the pocket to make those timing and big plays. And so that's one thing I'm really encouraged by seeing with Fields in that. And then again, you know, I think a couple people even before the draft talked about his arm motion, and we'll see. That can be changed. It's hard, but it can be changed, or at least cleaned up a little bit. And his decision making, all those things. I mean, all these things as far as reading progression, decision making, all those things is natural for a younger quarterback. But I think he has the physical ability and the intangibles to where if Matt Nagy and them really are going to earn their money, they could get him to a point where he can really perform. And I don't mean just perform, because some people go crazy right now with quarterbacks, like just Justin Herbert. Not saying he's not good, but they have a good year or a good couple games and people go nuts. And it's like, oh my God, yes, this. But you have to look at the long-term projection. As I've said before, any NFL player can be effective in a game or effective for a season. But to be able to go beyond that and be consistently effective, and not only that, but consistently, dominant, that's a lot harder. And so, but I do think he has the makeup to get there. So that's my thoughts. Go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.